So because we live in California and we're right next to the coast, all of the trash and marine debris that does go into the ocean affects us because the fish eat it, and then these fish die, and that affects the food cycle and the life cycle, and heavily impacts even humans because we do eat those fish.
So we tried to engage the elementary schoolers that we have next door because they are the new generation, and we don't want them to be littering at the beach or just littering in general, because that will hurt the environment.
For this project, I was part of the sculpture team, and what we pretty much did that we built a life-size whale and we hung it up in front of the school, so right when you walk in you'll see it. It's made of trash that we found at the beach and that we also collected. So we pretty much engaged with everybody, with our audience, because we wanted to symbolize this whale that has a bunch of trash on it, and that's like the trash that we produce daily or sometimes like weekly, and it was supposed to be like very symbolic because that's like the trash and pollution that sometimes goes inside the ocean and can kill a lot of animals.
Through our project, what we did was we reached out to our community restaurants and asked them to become more ocean friendly by getting rid of plastics and things like food trays that they might not need, or take out food to make it biodegradable instead of using styrofoam, which will never go away. So what we did was that we reached out to these communities and these restaurants to ask them to turn into ocean friendly.
We worked on fundraising so we could buy a water bottle refill station, which actually stands inside our school, and we bought 2 of them for the elementary school and the middle school, so we could use that to kind of encourage students to bring their own reusable water bottles instead of using single-use plastic ones.
I worked on the trout tank. We got the trout as little eggs, and they all started hatching, and we had them in like a basket, and we'd have to check the water. We have to check the pH, the ammonia, the nitrate, the GH, and the KH to make sure that none of them were too high. We needed to have them be healthy for when we put them in the lake, and so that they'd have the best chance of survival.
We are taking the old water out and putting fresh spring water in.
Basically what we're doing is we're melting the PVC pipe into a hula hoop shape to make a whale.
The main challenge that we faced was probably finishing the whale in time. We were working here for about till the last minute. We hung it up the day of exhibition, so that was a challenge.
So we went through a lot of failures, so many restaurants didn't want to change. Many restaurants decided that it wasn't important even though they are living on the coast. So we realized that we just had to keep trying and pushing forward with grit.
During the fundraising part of the project, most of my job was actually sending emails out to bigger companies and stuff to ask them, hey, could you donate a gift card to us or something to support this? Because on our exhibition, what we did was we had a raffle, so we'd have people buy tickets so they could win things like restaurant gift cards or like a GoPro. And it took a lot of reaching out to people and trying to convince them to support this cause.
Challenges that we faced were having very high levels of like ammonia and pH, and when that happened we had to add chemicals as soon as possible, and then also we had challenges with diseases that went on, and we'd have to remove the fish or the eggs that would cause disease to the rest of the fish, and that was kind of sad because that meant that we'd be killing the fish that were like sick and everything.
So I accomplished illustrating the entire children's book, and I feel like I did a good job with the final product of it, and I think it looks very nice.
One of the accomplishments was just building the whale, because all of us thought that oh, this isn't gonna happen, this is probably impossible, a life-size whale going up in front of our school, but we got it done.
Over the course of the project, we accomplished to get a few restaurants to actually become ocean friendly, some that actually reached out to us to become ocean friendly because they do realize that we are living on the coast and that our impact is a lot of an impact on ocean. In this project we accomplished putting probably 85 little trout into a lake, and now we hope that they're all surviving. Some of them got eaten because that's the life cycle, but we helped put the population back into a lake.
for paddleboarding because we need to pick up trash, and also we're using a special paddleboard that has a little thing on the bottom of it that will collect data about the pH in the lagoon. And also we have another thing which is a smart fin, which will also detect temperature in the water and also the exact location, so it can track where it is most hot and where it's cold in the lagoon.
So what's happening right now is we're putting up the whale, and we're just putting it up.
We accomplished getting both the middle school and elementary school water bottle refill stations, and we managed to fund enough money for that. And we're hoping to eventually get one for the high school using the leftover money we have and find ways to hopefully fundraise more by selling like reusable water bottles or using future exhibitions to help this or raise money for it.
I learned a lot throughout this project. Obviously how the trash affects the ocean, how everything is being affected by what we do currently in our lives today.
We learned a lot about how regular trash just gets into the ocean through watersheds, and how a lot of our pollution is like made from restaurants that like McDonald's that just create these kinds of trash that people just decide to leave outside and litter on the streets all the time.
What I learned was that chemistry and learning how to test water is like a very useful thing.
Well, what I learned mostly from this project was how difficult and also how rewarding it can be to reach out to people, because even just doing things like just going to certain companies or talking to certain people can get you pretty far. And if we raise awareness through talking to these companies, it could make a really big difference.